Hey, I'm James, and this is my game 18 Card RPG. This is what the print and play version of the game looks like. It's just 18 cards. There are 8 goals cards, and 8 attribute cards, and a scenario card. It has 2 scenarios, Shopping with Humans, and Lab of the Mad Wizard. And then also a rules card that is double-sided. If you've never printed and played a card game before, the way I've done this is I've just bought some really cheap plastic sleeves from a game store, and I inserted a playing card in the middle, and then just cut and inserted the different card faces on either side of that card. So they fit in pretty good like that. Let's just take the rules as they go. So it says in order to play this game, first thing we do is deal out 2 attribute cards and 2 goal cards to each player. And then each player is going to pick 2 of each kind of thing. So let's say that I was dealt these 2 attributes cards. And I would turn them over. And I'm going to take a look. Each card has a couple different attributes. For example, this one has Know-It-All and All Too Curious. And this one has Astral Projection and Multiply Phobic. So I am supposed to compile the attributes of my character somehow from this set of 4. I can be a character that is all too curious and multiply phobic, or all too curious who can also astral project, or I can be a know-it-all that's multiply phobic, or a know-it-all that can astral project, and I think I'll go with that, a know-it-all who can astral project. That sounds like fun. So I'll lay those down in front of me. And let's say I was dealt a couple of goal cards that look like this. You can see each goal card has a gray goal and a white goal. The gray goals are interactive, meaning that they are related to the character on your right. So everybody's going to interact somehow with whatever character's on their right. And the white goals are just sort of like the inner need of the character. So and I need one of each of these. I can't mix and match them quite the same way as the attribute cards. So I need one white and one gray. So either my character will need to get a souvenir of some kind, or will need to learn the evil secrets of this place. And either my character will want to tickle the character on the right, or want to tell a lie to the character on the right. Well, I think lying sounds more fun than tickling right now, so I'm going to go with that. And I'm going to go with needing to get a souvenir. So my total character is a know-it-all that can astral project, who needs a souvenir and wants to tell a lie to the character next to me. And I just put those down in front of me, and in fact I would probably rotate them around like this so that everyone else can get a good view of what my character's doing, and then I would be set to play. Next thing that the rules say to do after everybody's sort of generated their characters is to pick a scenario and to pick a start player to read the scenario out loud. So we'll pretend I'm the start player, and we can pick Wizard, or we can pick Shopping with Humans, and let's go with that. Let's go with Shopping with Humans. And I'll read it to you. It says, your first 3 months as test subjects for Farmer Corps went so well you've all signed contracts for the next year. Have the meds affected your thinking? It's hard to say. All you know for sure is that you've changed. This morning the White Coats announced a field trip to the local shopping mall. It was time, they said, to see how you respond to the public. At the mall, you were each handed $5. Go buy some socks and come back, they say. Sounds easy enough, but the ground is so soft here, and is the mall breathing? What is that whispering sound, and why are you all so nervous? Go on now, the mall closes at 8. They will expect to see you back before then. Remember, underneath the banal surface of normal life lies a vast conspiracy of evil intent, and everyone in the mall will be watching you closely. So that's the setup for the scene. My astral projecting know-it-all character who needs a souvenir and wants to tell a lie is apparently one of the test subjects for some strange pharmaceutical corporation, and we've all been turned, all of the characters at the table are, we've all been turned loose on this mall, supposedly to go buy socks, but who knows what might happen. So the next bit after that is to take turns introducing our characters. And we're going to say the characters' names, attributes, goals, and any other details we might want to add. So I would say this is Ted. He's a know-it-all and can astral project. In fact, he's traveled to many planets and other dimensions and has a great deal of knowledge about all of things because of his astral projection powers. He's interested in collecting, something of a collector, and is certainly interested, maybe not in socks necessarily, but he wants to collect a souvenir from this place. And some kind of lie must be told to whoever it is that's on my right. And the character on my right would also have the player on my right would also have a generated character and would then introduce them. Everyone would introduce their characters, and we'd be ready for the next step. Play begins, it says. On your turn, the other players describe how one of your character's attributes leads her into trouble as she pursues one of her goals. So there's a couple things to look at in that rule, and it's a little tightly worded because I had to fit it all in one card. But it says that the character is going to be pursuing a goal, and that one of the attributes is going to get the character into trouble. So the other players have to consider both the goals and the attributes as they narrate this setup. So first they're going to look at my goals. Souvenir and lying, right? They're probably not sure quite yet what lie I might tell the next character. But a souvenir seems easy enough, right? There's stuff all over the mall, and maybe I can go to a souvenir shop nearby. So they might tell some kind of story about me going to some kind of curio shop in the mall and looking around. And then one of my attributes is going to get me in trouble in this shop. Either I pretend to know too much, or I astral project, and that gets me into trouble somehow with the mall security or somebody, presumably. So maybe they say I walk into a curio shop and I trip over my own shoelaces and fall out of my body across the room and into another plane where the monstrous beings await me. This is a curio shop that is actually run by interdimensional demons, and now they've discovered that I can see them. So I'm in hot water. So that's what they would do there. And if there's multiple people, they sort of collaborate to come up with some kind of scenario for me. Then B, you describe how your character attempts to use her other attribute to overcome the trouble and meet her goal. So I'm trying to get a souvenir, and my astral projection has gotten me into trouble. So now somehow my know-it-all attribute has to get me out of that trouble. I'm lying there face to face with demons that are running the shop, but presumably I've done this so many times that I know everything about their culture, so maybe I begin speaking to them in interdimensional demonese and ask them if I can see the real shop where they keep, the real curiosities, and I'll pretend to be kind of an insider in their scheme, someone looking for something that they're really collecting from this dimension. Maybe they're harvesting human souls as they sell weird curios, and that's what I'm there to buy. So hopefully that gets me out of hot water. Let's see what happens. C, the other players decide if your attempt succeeds or fails, and they narrate the result, not character death, meaning they can come up with any kind of consequence they want, but they can't kill off my character. If there's ever a disagreement, options can be put to a vote. You break ties on your turn. So the other players are going to say, I don't know, I don't think that would really work. These demons are pretty savvy. You're not going to sweet talk them. No, I don't. They all generally agree that no, my attempt did not work. So now they narrate some kind of consequence to me. And they say that these guys come after me with weapons of some kind and chase me away from my body out into the mall, and I'm on the run. So I did not get my souvenir, and I'm in even worse trouble than before. And it says by character, so that's sort of the game. That's how that game goes. And that's the end of my turn, and then goes to the next player's turn, and we narrate for that player something about their character, first deciding what goal they go after, and then deciding which of their attributes gets them into trouble. They pick the other attribute and try to say how they get out of that trouble and accomplish their goal. We all agree whether or not that's convincing. If it's convincing, then they get the goal. If it's not convincing, then we narrate some kind of consequence and get them usually into more trouble than before. They just can't die. This goes for 4 turns, and then we have sort of game-ending conditions here. It says, if your character manages to meet both of her goals before 4 rounds are up, you win, and you narrate the fate of your character freely. Meaning, everybody's going to take 4 turns, and at the end of my 4th turn, if both goals are met, I can say my character walks out of the mall with socks and goes back to the place, the pharmaceutical corporation, and is very proud of his accomplishments, or I can say escapes and runs off into the night, or whatever I like. If my character does not meet her goals before the end of 4 rounds, I lose, and I must narrate the death of my character. So if the goals are somehow not met and I just get worse and worse trouble, then eventually say, this is how I died. The demons get me and skin me alive and leave my astral body hanging in their shop for other demons to purchase, something like that. Now, I might meet goals before the end of 4 rounds, and that's fine. Everybody might do so, in fact. So if all characters meet both of their goals before the end of 4 rounds, the game ends immediately, all players win. So a lot of the game end conditions sort of depends on how friendly the table is or how interested they are in seeing strange deaths happen to the different characters. And that's it. The other players at the table narrate a bit of story for you. You say how you think you get out of it. They say whether it works or not. Turn passes, go around the table 4 times, and then see who lives and dies. That's how the game's played.